Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I just decided to start it like this. Basically, I've been really getting to know this world a little bit better. I feel like I've been really able to tap in to this world. That's been my biggest issue, is tapping into this world because I did not understand it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm just born. I'm like, what the fuck? My nails, I finally got to fucking break them off because for the longest time, okay, ignore this. For the longest time, fucking, what's his face? I just couldn't take these nails off. And I've been like doing my best to, and even my thing is like almost broken. Anyways, so, I started this, okay, because just like this, because recently I went out, okay, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with how much light and dark the dynamic with it that's going on right now. But so basically 2 days ago or so, I decided to visit a DJ friend I used to sleep with. Okay, this is like, and I say used to sleep with because one time we went to a festival and we had beautiful sex under the stars. It was all right, okay? I was a little fucked up because of like a drug that he made me like have, but I didn't like it at all. Actually, it reminded me a lot of what I felt like adrenochrome was gonna be, and that was the point in my life where I was like, you know what, I just don't think that being around these people is a good idea because they really have some shit going on with them that I don't want to deal with at all. And so basically a couple days ago, because after like a year or so, I finally text the guy, and it's like Mercury retrograde, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna text the guy because I'm like curious how he's doing, right? I know it's Mercury retrograde, right? And the thing is that I'm actively avoiding texting my ex when during Mercury retrograde, especially my most recent ex, because I'm like, oh boy, like my love is still there for him, and I know that if I go back to him, he's just gonna clown the fuck out of me. So I was just like, you know what? I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna text this guy and I'm gonna see if he wants to hang out like as friends or something. And so this is like it was like my first time trying to go back to like being friends with someone of the past and whatnot. So and I felt like I was being called to that friendship, right? So I basically I go there. I go there, right? He's like, yeah, you can come over, and I'm like, yeah, I can come over tonight if you want, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna call you an Uber, and I'm like, bet. But the thing is that, okay, he said bet. And so the thing about it is that, yeah, I thought he was gonna have the energy of the blue monkey because that was the day. It was the day of the blue monkey, right? So I'm like, yes, bitch. We're about to be fucking aligned as fuck because the next couple of days, yesterday was the Electric Dragon Day, Red Electric Dragon, which is like still, Red Electric Skywalker Day, which is like me technically because I'm a Skywalker. And I was thinking about that energy, and I was thinking about how I was going to be able to basically get myself into that position where I was gonna understand a deeper sense of my reality because that's who the fuck I am. I'm a Skywalker. I'm a red Skywalker. So whether it's a electric, crystal, overtone, or galactic or cosmic, solar. Okay, so basically my main ones are solar, electric, crystal, galactic for sure. Galactic Skywalker is me for sure. And then the other ones I'm mastering. And so I decided to I was just gonna go over there. And he tells me like, oh yeah, I'm not hanging around with that crew anymore. They're just a bunch of they're just like druggies. Da, 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 da. He's telling me about how like he doesn't want to hang out with them anymore. He doesn't want to deal with them anymore. He's just being put inside a state of depression, but he's living a better life now, and he's not going through da 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 da. But his friend is depressed, who his roommate is basically, and he's depressed, but he's all right, right? And I'm just like, how are you having a roommate that's depressed and you're all right? That doesn't make sense. Something is clearly wrong. He was super fucking frantic. I was like really touchy-feely with him. And he told me he did a fucking love spell later on. And I was like, huh. And he said it fucking backfired. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm here as a friend. You know, I'm like touching his arm because like we slept together, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really a friends with, I used to try, I used to try being a friends with benefits with him, but I was just like, I'm just not interested in that kind of relationship with you because you're just not going to be conducive to my energy. We're just not compatible like that. You know what I mean? And then, and it seems like people just don't understand that I'm very aware about compatibility. I don't need people to tell me about who and what I'm compatible with, who, what for, or whatever the fuck. Like, I am divine feminine. I do resonate on that frequency. I am in my 12th house energy, and I'm not fucking going anywhere, okay? We not going nowhere, all right? I'm already here, bitch. So I was like, okay, well, I was like, okay, well, let me just talk to you and stuff like that. He's like, well, I'm hungry, and he wants to start making food, and he's like telling me about all his problems like a fucking therapist. He's just like dumping his shit on me, and I'm like, laying there bored as fuck, like not trying to be bored. And I'm like, you know what? I want to tell you about what I went through recently, right? This past year, literally a whole shift in reality I've had. And he's like telling me about how he really understands like the essence of reality, and he's really deep into it. And I started telling him about how everybody was kind of mixing me up with Lucifer, but I'm in Isis energy, so I'm Isis. But like he thought that like people were thinking that I'm Lucifer and that the red star was Lucifer, but I realized like I came from Mars, but it also was in the Arugula galaxy, so that's where I came from, which is the chariot energy, which is me. I'm the chariot energy, but they were trying to give me cancer because they were trying to give my grandmother cancer, and they didn't want to heal her during those Nazi party times, so now they have to pay the consequences for their actions, you know, Nazis in hell and shit like that. But people seem to be having an issue with me speaking on it because they seem to think that somehow it has something to do with them. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're a fucking Nazi pedophile reptilian asshole, then yeah, you're gonna go to hell. I don't know what to tell you. If you were transgender or anything like that, then yeah, you're gonna have to go to hell. I don't know what the fuck to tell you because of the matter of the fact, okay? It's just a matter of fact. If you are transgender, yes, you will go to hell. Maybe just for a little bit, but you will still go to hell, right? Especially if you knew the rules of like what was really gonna happen if you were to, you know, change your sex or something, like change your gender while already human. Like if you already knew those kind of rules and you did it anyways, then yeah, you're definitely going to fucking hell. And I'm not talking about just like 20,000 years of hell or something like that. No, it's a process because it's a process of refinery because you're utilizing the violet flame. This is just a natural process because people who fuck up, they must perish because then we need to be able to utilize that rest of the energy and give it back to the collective. But they seem to think they're so fucking entitled. And it's really ironic. It really is. I just don't get it at all because people seem to think that I'm fucking transgender. And I'm like, once again, I am not Lucifer. I don't work with pride, Leo energy, okay? I work with Ra. And you better get that fucking right. Anyways, I decided to go over to that guy, right? And he's like telling me about how he knows so much fucking information. He's so fucking smart now and everything like that. And he just starts slowly trying to gaslight me, trying to make me feel like I have an issue or trying to make me feel like I have a problem. And I can slowly feel the tension building. And I'm like, you know what? Do you need help with the cooking and stuff like that? So he's like telling me about how the whole place is dirty and how the fucking dishes are dirty and how everything is a fucking mess, right? So I'm like, all right. Well, do you need me to help you wash the dishes or something? I'm like, let me put this aside so that I can be able to grab a fork, you know what I mean, and help you cook. So he fucking takes a bag of frozen fucking, you know what I mean, a bag of just frozen shit and just jumps it into the pot. And I'm like, this nigga has not changed. He does not know shit. I can't believe that I'm here right now, bruh. So I'm like, you know, I'm a little hungry. I'm just gonna like, you know, I'm gonna help you cook. I'm like, dude, you don't put it in the pot like that. He's like, but the instructions say that you have to put it. And I'm like, yo, you are gone. You're gone, bro. You're fucking gone. So I'm like, all those drugs, whoop, whoop, you know what I mean? Like, oh, do all that coke and all that shit. He's like, I'm not gonna stop doing drugs. You know how it is. And I'm like, no, I don't know how it is because I hate fucking coke. I hate coke. I don't like cocaine. I can't stand cocaine. I cannot fucking stand opioids. You understand me? But people seem to think that I have like a love for fucking opioids and shit. And I'm like, no, I don't. Because I know those fucking flowers, poppy seeds. You know what you can get from poppy seeds is like MSG. You can get some good shit from poppy seeds. Yeah, you can. You can get some good shit from poppy seeds. But I don't fuck with opioids, okay? I just don't fuck with them because that's a very fast fucking track towards all the Babylonian fucking energies. So I was like, I don't deal with any of that shit. So I'm like trying to help him cook and shit like that. I'm like trying to help him prepare and shit. His cats fucking love me and shit. The cats in the house fucking love me. And the fucking cat at the top of the fridge, right? He's trying to kiss the fucking cat on the lip. He's like, the cat's like, ew, nigga, I don't want to fucking kiss you, bitch ass nigga. The cat's straight insulting him. I can read. And so I'm like, no, dude, if you're trying to kiss your cat, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta know that they don't do lip kisses, they do nose kisses. And he's like, oh, well, I know, Mike. He's just starting to be cocky and shit with me. He's like, I don't know. And then I'm like, look, I'll show you right now. So I've never seen this cat in my life before, okay? So I like put my nose up to the cat, and the cat kisses me on the fucking nose. So I'm like, see? He gets pissed. He gets pissed. He's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So then I'm like cooking for him and shit like that. And I'm like, where do you have your spatula and stuff? He's like, I'm so ADHD right now. And he keeps going back and forth. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking okay? So like he's standing next to me and and he's like being frantic and shit. He's like trying to hide some shit. So I'm like, dude, he turns around and I hold his face and I'm like, are you okay? And he looks at me with such fear in my face. Okay, now I don't know if my eyes are like doing anything scary. Okay, look, I have the thing right here. Is it? No, I don't think so. But basically, he just starts like trying to freak out. Like he's like trying to pull away. He totally thinks I'm gonna kiss him. I'm like, bro, ew. Like I'm not trying to look at your fucking face because you look like you're fucking panicking right now. And then I'm like, okay, never mind. Let me just finish cooking this shit, right? So I'm like, I didn't even get to tell my story. I didn't even get to tell what happened to me really for real, right? I didn't get to really tell him. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I got pregnant when I was 5. He's like, what? He has no idea. And I'm like, wait, I didn't tell you that? And then I realized that this nigga has no idea who I am. I'm like, whoa, bitch. Like, I know who you are, but you don't know who I am. So he starts telling me like, oh, you know the monkeys, you know, like the Jackie Chan films, And I'm like, no, I've never watched like movies like that, like Chinese movies or like, you know, Asian movies and films with monkeys and such. But I do know of the story. Like, I do know of it. Like, I do know about I've had dreams. Like you're telling, I came to your place thinking that you were gonna be the blue monkey. You're asking me if I know anything about the fucking monkeys, and I'm like, okay, so you don't know what's going on here. You have no idea that I'm here to be able to make sure that you are who you say you are. Like y'all don't realize I'm not fucking around because I'm trying to find where the fuck these people think that they can sacrifice me at. I'm trying to find because they all thought I was fucking Lucifer. Until they realized that I'm not fucking Lucifer, and they just tried to fucking like sacrifice the divine feminine. It's like they didn't fucking peep that's what had happened. But that's basically what I was trying to tell him. I was like, yeah, you know, I don't fuck with that Lucifer shit because like, you know, and he's like trying to tell me like talk about like the sword and shit. He's like, oh. He says the dumbest shit. He says the smartest, dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life, right? So I am the word. That's the thing. I am the fucking word. I am the word, okay? And the word is with God. And in the beginning was the word. And the word is with God. And God is with the word. Okay. So basically, when I was 5 years old, I was pregnant, okay? Now we can move on. So basically, I look at him, right? And I'm like trying to listen to what the fuck he has to say. And he's like talking about, well, you know about the inner earth, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you can't leave this planet because the inner earth is being protected, unguarded by the sword, the flaming sword of truth. And I'm like, yeah, me, nigga, the fuck? Like, that's me. Like, you're talking about me. Like, I'm here to make sure you're not fucking around. And he was. So basically, he starts trying to gaslight me and tell me like, well, you're trying to tell me what to do in my apartment. Like trying to be all cocky because he finally got an apartment after fucking years. After years of being a fuck up in his life, right? He decided to finally get an apartment. And I already been had an apartment and all of them were trying to ruin my fucking life and sacrifice me for it. So, and the thing is that it's not that I didn't have an apartment or before or something. No, I just that I have multiple houses. I have a villa. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep on fucking going because people really seem to think that they can fuck with me and kill me and my family not realizing that they're not in their land. They are not at home. They are not where they're supposed to be. So they are not safe. So basically, I'm like trying to talk to this nigga and I'm like, okay. Because that's the thing. Because people always want me to act poor. They always want me to act poor and sadistic. They always love to see me broken down. They don't like that this is my shit. They don't like that this is my home. They don't like that this is where I belong. They don't like that this is where I'm supposed to be. They want to make it seem like they have all this shit going on for them, but they're all stuck in my Pisces energy, okay? They're all stuck in my 4th, 5th house. Yes, you heard it right here, motherfuckers. 4th, 5th house, bitch. So anyways, I decided to like I was like, fuck this. Like, you're totally trying to give me a panic attack right now and I can't deal with this. And he was the one telling me like, yeah, cats know when the area is okay. Da, 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 da. Like cats know. Da, da, da. So he's like trying to tell me information I already fucking know, right? So I'm like trying to go into the room and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't be in this place anymore. And I'm like 12 hours away from my apartment, from where I am right now. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I don't know how to deal with this situation. I don't know how to deal with this circumstance right now because I don't have the money to be able to get an Uber, right? He got an Uber, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to get me an Uber back home because he's a fucking idiot. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what else to do because like I can't call my mom because that's going to make me look pathetic, right? I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to be for real. I'm trying to be an adult. I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to be a grown ass woman, right? So I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck you. I don't want to deal with this situation because you clearly think that you're somehow superior to me, and that's not going to work at all because I don't even think about superiority or inferiority complexes because that is the Napoleon complex that Kristen was supposed to have a conversation with me about, but she couldn't. So I basically was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to, pay attention to what I need to pay attention to. And I decided to just dip, right? I just left the whole place and I was just like fucking so angry at myself because I was like, why the fuck did I even come here? Why the fuck was the reason for this? So I'm praying, I'm crying, I'm smacking my head upon the asphalt. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not even kidding. Like I'm literally smacking my head upon the fucking pavement because I'm like, if y'all don't know anything about, that's the thing about why I don't want to fuck with Kristen anymore, right? Because she keeps claiming that she has Saturn in Aquarius, like, oh, I have this in Aquarius. I have Saturn in Aquarius. That's what she was always fucking saying. And I'm like, listen, bitch, I mastered that fucking energy because you didn't fucking want to. And now I have to be able to tell people I have Saturn in Taurus, which means that I rule. Anyways, I had to be able to go through Islam. I had to be able to go through Arabia. I had to be able to go through Persia. I had to be able to go through Atlantis. I had to be able to go through Tartaria. I had to be able to go through everything. And now I have to deal with the Fomorians. And you want to come to me and tell me about who the fuck I am and what the fuck I'm trying to do. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up, right? So anyways, I decided to leave the fucking apartment, leave that fucking house. And then I literally was just downstairs like, fuck, bro, I'm gonna have to reanoint myself because fuck this shit. Like, bro, fucking threw me off completely. So I look around and there's a fucking fountain right there. There's a fucking, like the water is right there. And I'm like, well, it needs to be clean water. And guess what the fuck happened? The water was touching upon the leaves of the tree. And I was like, oh, God, thank you, God. So I, run over to the fucking, tree and I'm standing there and the fucking water just flows and I can just feel myself being lifted up to heaven and I'm like, I am gone, bitch. This is why I'm here. So I go stand in the corner, right? And this guy pops by me and I'm about to pull out a cigarette. He's like, hey, can I have a cigarette? And I'm like, I wrote a book about this. I wrote a book about this. And that's how my books began, okay? So I wrote 3 books, Adina's Awakening, Water Lily, and Nico and the Boys, okay? Now, these 3 books are the most important trilogies that I've ever written in my fucking life so far, okay? And basically, these 3 trilogies are supposed to prepare us for this new world energy, this new world that we're entering into. Like I said, this fucking, my nails right now, no bueno. but I knew that this was what we needed. I knew that this is what was gonna happen because I fucking prophesized about this, but I hadn't even realized that I prophesized about this. So basically, the whole story is about a bet, okay? The whole story is about a fucking bet, bruh. And the whole bet is that there was an angel called Lev, okay? It's a Leo, okay? That's his name, Leo, okay? His name is Leo, all right? So, Lev, which is also the symbol of pride, Lucifer, right? And so Leo goes to the underworld and tries to, because his fiance, right, broke up with him. And I had no fucking idea I was writing this, okay? I had no idea I was prophesizing about this when I was writing about it. So basically, I was like, Leo goes to the underworld to speak to one of the adopted demons or daemons, right? One of the adopted daemons. And this daemon's name is Nico. And I wrote a book about this, okay? It's on Webtoon. It's a comic book too. Yes, bitch, I illustrated it as well. And that's the part people don't understand is that, bitch, I've been prepared the stage. I've been prepared the stage. I already got that shit ready. So basically, Leo goes to the fucking underworld and talks, Lev, goes to the underworld and talks to Nico and talks about some like, I bet that you wouldn't fall in love with me type shit, like within this next month type shit. Like that's what they said. It's like, if basically the whole bet that was written was like, if that guy, right, if the daemon couldn't fall in love with, it was basically like who was gonna fall in love first type shit, like who was gonna be the one in love with who here first, because the daemon was afraid of Lev, and Lev was like, fuck you, I don't give a fuck about you, like you mean nothing to me, like literally you mean nothing to me, I don't care about your life, I don't care about your existence. That's the whole point of Nico and the boys, was to be able to understand that Nico was never going to be with Lev. Nico was just never going to be with Lev. In fact, I wrote the whole fucking book and I'm not going to fucking spoil it. I'm not gonna fucking spoil it because the story is much larger. I told you it's a trilogy. So basically, I already finished the book, by the way. Just saying. So Lev basically, like I said, this is just the beginning. So Lev is like, well, tells the guy like, you need to fall in love with me, da, 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 da. And then Water Lily is like the next parallel dimension to that. And then there's a whole fucking like overworld, underworld story about it. Like I've been around the world and I've seen it before. I've been the only girl going round and round in fantasy. I've been around the world. Call him Mr. Raider, call him Mr. Jones, calling me the same. She said, I know, and I want it now. I want you, 'cause I'm Mr. Raid. Yeah, call him Mr. Raider, call him Mr. Jones, calling me the same. He said, I know what I know, and I want it now. I want you, 'cause I'm Mr. Raid. Anyways, so I decided to just scrap the whole project, right? My ancestors got pissed. My ancestors were like flipping tables, throwing shit around, killing motherfuckers. I was like, what's going on? They're like, you have a destiny. You must write this book. You must finish this book. It has to be done. You have to get this shit done. And I'm like, but I can't. Because every time I'm trying to get people ready, not just for the book, but also for the reality, they want to kill me. They just want to kill me. So then they were like, you know fucking what? You're going to be that bitch. You're going to be Adina. You're going to be that girl. You're going to be the one to be able to fucking go up and ascend as that chick. And I was like, holy shit, me? The main character of my own prophecy? What do you mean? But I'm not adopted. And you see where you fucked up, Kristen? You see where you fucked up, Kristen? Everything was already laid out for you. Everything was literally laid out for you. But I got it instead. Because people wanted to be special. They wanted to be big and bad and bougie. They wanted to be something that they couldn't be. And that man who came up to me, right, for the cigarette, who was basically imitating Liv in my story, right? Because art imitates life, right? So... So basically, the guy who came up was wearing a red shirt and he just came out of jail. I was like, you look familiar. In fact, you look a lot like how I would assume Jesus Christ was supposed to look like. Like, I'm like, you look just like him. You look just like my brother. You look just like him. So I'm like, okay, let me be for real with this nigga. I'm like, yeah, you can have my cigarette. Da, da, da. So he's telling me about his story. He's like, yeah. 11/11, right? And I'm like, yeah, 11/11. Oh my God. Like, we start linking up. I'm like, holy shit. You and I are on the same fucking wavelength right fucking now. I'm like, oh my gosh. He pulls crack out of his fucking pocket. And it's like, you want some? I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, this was not a game. By the way, balance. I was like, this is not a game. Art really does imitate life, because if you're supposed to be the good one, and I'm supposed to be the demon, then tell me why. Then tell me why you're doing crack. I'm like, huh? I'm like, no, what is that? I'm like, is that like DMT? You know what I mean? I'm trying to make it better, because I'm like, if it's a psychedelic, I can work with that. I can work with a psychedelic, because we have DMT, you know what I mean? Like, I can work with, I can even fucking work with ketamine. But crack, honey, or like cocaine, or anything that you have to crush and sniff, no. Just no, okay? So I was just like, let me check real quick. Okay, so I was just like, no thanks, like, I'm just trying to get home. Do you know if I can get like a ride? And He's like, he's like starting to get awkward. He wants to help me, but he doesn't know how to help me. He's not telling me much about himself. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. This is gonna be an adventure, right? He's like, yeah, adventure time. Adventure time? Come on, grab your friends. We go to many distant lands. Jake the dog and Finn the human type shit. We go to Manor. It's adventure time. So I'm on that time. You know, I'm on type time, adventure time. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm carrying my backpack. I'm like, bruh, I have my cards in my backpack. I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen. My home is 12 hours away by walking. Actually, no, it was like one day. Yeah, that's 12 hours a day by walking. It said one day, and I was like, isn't that 24 hours is one day? More shit to talk about. But basically, because that was what the phone said. Anyways, I basically was like trying to figure out my way around, and I just haven't been to any train stations around here. I haven't been any, but where I live, there are no buses, no trains, nothing like that, right? That's why it's so difficult to get to where I'm. I live right next to the crossroads, by the way. I live right next to the crossroads. It's really freaky. I can't even explain it. So basically, I decide to go. I always fucking live in the middle of fucking nowhere, bro. I always live in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's never somewhere where people actually know where. Anyway, I'm explain. So basically, I go over to he's like trying to take me around on the fucking like train. So he's like, yeah, we have to take the blue line and then the red line and then the orange line and the green line. And he's like, it's in the middle of the night, by the way. It's like almost 1 a.m. It's almost 12, like 1 a.m. type shit. Like, I decide to get into the train with this nigga, and I'm like, I guess, but like, bitch, like, this is really how it be to be spiritually protected, because I have no idea who this nigga is, and he just came out of jail, and he was there for like months, you know what I mean? He wasn't there for like, and apparently he was there based off of like a fake fraud thing, but I'm like, I can't tell, I can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. So I was just like, so I was just like, getting myself through the situation. And he was just like, yeah, I'll take you to my uncle's place. That's what he said. He said he was going to take me to his uncle and his aunt's place, but they're not very, like, nice people, da 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 da. And I'm like, it's okay, I'll just talk to them. We don't have to, like, stay there, da da da. I don't know, like, he was just trying to tell me, like, it wasn't like that he stays there like normally, but that was a fucking lie. It was like a hospice place, and turns out like we're from the same territory. Literally, we are from the same territory. We are bloodlines from the same fucking territory. Like, I was like, holy shit, you're like my actual, like, you're like my brother type shit. Like, you're like, hello. So, so like we go over to this fucking hospice place and we have to stand outside, and he's trying to be like in a relationship with me already. Like, he's trying to be in a love connection, love relationship with me. But he already has a kid. He already has a child, like, and he didn't want to take care of the child. He walked away. He apparently had everything he wanted. He had a house and everything, and he gave it all up to be able to, I don't know, do something. And I was just like, listen, I'm not really interested in hearing about like how pathetic you think your life is, because to be honest, I'm just trying to get home, and I don't think my life is pathetic, because I've lived my whole life with people constantly trying to tell me my life was pathetic, and I was fighting against that because I was in fucking hell after they tried to sacrifice me. But people don't seem to understand that I'm not going to give them fucking pity. I'm just not going to give them pity. See, gratitude. I'm not going to give you pity, bitch. I'm not going to give you pity. That's the last thing you fucking want from me is pity. All right? Listen, trust. I'm saying trust. I can't even make this shit up. So anyways, I'm like, I decide to go to like, so we're chilling over at this fucking hospice place, by the way. And the thing about it is that I told my mom, okay, I told my mummy, I told my mummy that I was going to put her in hospice because she was trying to kill me. And now I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think she's gonna be in hospice. Like, I don't think she's gonna agree to that. Like, plus my mom found out she was a Capricorn and not an Aquarius. So now she's living her best life, you know? Now she's living her best life. Peace, you know what I mean? So I'm glad because discipline, and that's all that needed to fucking happen. All right. And I'm pretty sure my father is not a Leo but a Virgo, so that was pretty great, right? We figured it out really quickly. Yeah, denial. He's gonna be in denial about it for a little bit, but maybe others are in denial about it, and now we're realizing our balance. I don't know. People like to talk shit about my family, and look what happened. Oh yeah, they wanted me to be in loneliness. Did you not know that loneliness is a tool for Satan? So I already rebuked Satan and everything and all the images of that shit, right? Discipline, like I said, it's already been over. I already been through all the tests and the trials and all the tribulations and bullshit. So I basically decided to, we were just sitting there, and it was like already like, I'm telling you, it was like 6 a.m. We spent like the whole fucking like 6-7 hours together, and he took me over to this hospice place, right? And he's like trying to tell me about like how nervous he is, and and then he calls his aunt through my phone and everything, and the aunt is like, they're just like, the uncle is just like a really shitty fucking person or something. I don't know, bro. It was the whole situation was whack, right? I come in, they're like saying like, the uncle, okay, so like it's a long story from the beginning, and honestly it was such a mess that I don't even want to talk about it. But basically the uncle starts telling me about how like he can't respect me because I'm next to him, and he doesn't know how to be able to respect because and then he tells me that he starts calling me all sorts of types of whores and shit. Like, he starts trying to like hide the fact that he's attracted to me by trying to deflect all the attention onto his wife, who peeped game. She peeped game so fucking hard. She started smiling because she started thinking about the divorce she was about to have. She was like, damn, I'm about to break up with this nigga. We not finna live together no more. She started thinking about her best fucking life. She started thinking about her best life. I'm telling you, bruh. And the kind of smile she was giving, she was not mad at me. She wasn't angry at me. She didn't care that I was there. She knew exactly because I told her about my nails. I'm like, hey, before I met the uncle, I met the aunt first. And the aunt was the relative of the guy, right? Who was with the red shirt. So the aunt already looked at me like, she's like, well, why are you here? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, well, my mom trafficked me. My mom. Okay, now y'all have to peep game on that. So my mom trafficked me, okay? She trafficked me over here da, 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 by getting married to someone. Da, 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 da. And this was in order to fulfill whatever the fuck kind of contract they fucking had, I guess. But my mommy is back. My mommy is back. My mommy's back. My mommy's back. My mommy's back. My mommy's back. So freedom. I'm telling you, freedom. My mommy's back. My mommy's back. Yeah, pride in reverse. I'm telling you, envy. Ooh. Yo. Yeah, look at this shit right here. Grief, envy, regrets, denial. This is the shit that my mommy had to go through. My mommy had to go through all of this hell. My mommy had to go through all this hell to be able to forgive how I persevered. To forgive how I persevered and how I basically did what I did to get where I wanted to go and what I said. Because I told her a bunch of really harsh shit. I told her a bunch of really harsh shit. I told her she would never meet her children. I told her that I wouldn't ever let her meet like her grandchildren. She got so upset. I didn't think she was gonna get so upset, so she had to go through all of this, all the fucking 5 stages of shit, like, and she went through it. She persevered, yo. She fucking persevered. I fucking knew it. And so, a balance. And so basically, 310. Basically, I tell the aunt, like, hey, I'm sorry about my nails right now. I can't seem to take it off. And honestly, I just did it because I was just trying to hang out with my mom type shit. I was actually just gonna get my toes done, but getting my nails done was a bad idea, and now I'm just stuck with them. So I apologize for how unruly they look, but I'm actually here just to be able to ask if I could get a ride or specifically help to be able to get back home. That's all I needed was a ride to get back home. That's all I fucking needed, bro. I went through all those trains and everything. Like, can you imagine? I had to go through the trolleys, okay, and the express sub trains and stuff like that, right? That's what I mean by the actual. It was like an actual train track, actually, like the red line, blue line, right? And I had to go through all of that just to be able to get to this nigga's house for them to tell me like, oh, they can't afford that right now. But then they wanted to pretend to be rich. They were trying to be rich so fucking bad. They kept on talking about how fucking rich they were and how they were gonna plan a business. So they were like, you know when you come from Africa, right? And I'm like, I'm not fucking American. I am from Africa, actually. I was raised there. Their fucking eyes, what? Like, well, they didn't know what the fuck to say. So he starts going off about how much he hates me, really. Like, that's really what it was. He started just going off about how much he hates me. His wife is just like, what the fuck? Like, she's just smiling like, what the fuck? Really? And then he starts telling me about how, like, I don't know, he just starts trying to act like I'm lying and shit. So I actually have to pull up a picture of me pregnant as a 5-year-old and to show him that I was pregnant as a 5-year-old in Disneyland. And because he was like, then he tried to actually put his children in that same situation. He tried to put it and make it seem as if his children were gonna be like victims of like child sacrifice and like murder and like trying to put his children in the position of how they were going to be like, what is it called again? Molested. And he was like, you see this girl? Like, how come you see this girl who's right here? And he pointed at his like daughter or niece or something. And it's like, how would she be able to get pregnant? I mean, he was straight cursing his bloodline. He straight was trying to curse his bloodline because he couldn't believe for the life of him that I was pregnant at the age of 5, because he did not want to believe for 1 second that he was going to go to hell. He was holding on tight to the idea that God was going to forgive him for his inequities and everything that he was going to do to his children. And I was like, fuck no, nigga, you're going to hell. And the wife that you think that you have married, which apparently they weren't even fucking married, and they had 2 kids, 2 sons. So I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is prophesized. Everything is coming true. Everything's all coming true. So I was like, no, like, bruh, like, I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. You can see that I'm fucking pregnant in the fucking video, in the picture. You can see that I'm pregnant. And he's like, are you 5 dad? Are you 5 dad? And I'm like, that's crazy. So anyways, I leave the situation. The aunt drives me over to the train with the guy, right? The guy is shook, right? The guy the guy in red, he's shook because he didn't even know what the fuck to talk about because the uncle showed his fucking ass to him to show him how no different the fucking uncle is from the guy that he was trying to insult because he was a druggie, right? So the guy was a druggie and he was really fucking up in life, but the other guy, his uncle, was trying to pretend like he was better than the other guy who I gave a cigarette to because of how unruly he looked and the fact that he was in jail and that he didn't have a home and whatnot. And so I was like, both of y'all the same. Both of y'all the same. The only one who's different here is the fucking wife, the aunt. And so she's sitting in the car. She's mad fucking quiet. She's mad fucking quiet. And I'm like, these are the things you're gonna fucking lose, sis. Business enterprise, money management skills. You're going to lose your website because the guy who was sitting there was the one who built the website for them. So I don't know how they were going to be able to keep that website. Anyway, she drops us up at the fucking train station type stuff. And the guy is like, yeah, this is the train we go to. This is the closest. So I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm like, okay, I have to kick into gear because this nigga's useless. Like, that's literally in my head, like, I'm already done with this nigga. Like, this nigga at this point is just trying to follow me to my apartment and crash at my place. Like, that was the whole thing at that point because he didn't have anywhere else to go. So I was like, I'm not gonna leave this nigga homeless, right? So I'm like, fine, come with me because we've been having our adventure. You might as well sleep over for 1 night and then you gotta go. Because I remember back in the day when I used to be all really nice and sweet and shit and be like, yeah, you can stay for multiple nights and stuff like that. You can stay for, and then I got myself fucked over. And now I'm like, nah, my tolerance for that kind of bullshit is low. You manipulated me into literally putting you inside my apartment, in my household. You literally manipulated me into allowing you inside my household. And then he also smoked all my vape. He ate my food. Basically, I gave him the southern Russian hospitality that I know I'm capable of giving another fucking human being. Or should I say northern hospitality if we're going to be for real. Because I'm from the north. So I'm really trying to see if this is working. Finally. It is a little bit. So basically, right? He comes up, we basically come up to the fucking train station, right? And I'm trying to figure this whole shit out. So I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna go from A to Z, right? I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm the navigator, so I'm like, okay. So we go from here. He's like trying to navigate me and shit. He's trying to tell me what to do, but he's changing his mind, being indecisive, being unsure, not being like aware of what's going on, just being completely lost. And I'm like, I'm not fucking lost though, because I'm not lost. So basically, I'm like looking at it and I'm checking my phone. And he's trying to rebuttal with me. He's like, let me see. He's trying to take my phone from me. And I'm like, I can't stand that shit. Bro, I can't stand that shit. Like, you're trying to take my shit from me to be able to do something I'm already doing that you can't do. And that's basically been how I've been living my life, my entire life. Like, multiple people have, all these motherfuckers are continuously taking my shit to be able to do something they can't do with it, just to be able to give it back to me all broken and shit, and being like, you fix it. Like, that's literally what it is. Like a child, bruh. It's like literally having people take some shit, break it, ruin it, and be all fucking sad that they can't utilize it, and then I have to fix it, and then when I don't give it back to them, they want to get mad at me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you broke it. I'm not gonna give you back the shit that you broke. No, I'm probably gonna go and find something more resilient for you to play with. But you want to get mad at me. It's like raising children. So I was like, fuck, bro. So I'm like taking my phone and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna check through this. And I'm like, okay, we can go from here to here. And I find the closest station that is closer to where I'm at, 4444. Literally, I can't make this up, 4444. We finally get to the station. I'm annoyed. You know what I mean? I'm annoyed. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I'm like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, you know what? We're going to have a good time. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to like call his friend. His friend is going to put him in a, you know what I mean? He's going to have a place to stay. I'm like trying to figure it out. So I call, so I'm sitting down and I'm trying to figure it out. You know, I'm just like trying to figure things out. I'm actually putting in the processing work. I'm like, okay, so if we walk from here to here, we can take this bus to another bus. But he doesn't want to take one bus to another bus. He doesn't want to do layovers. He doesn't want to go from one bus to another bus and go to another bus because that's too inconvenient for him. I didn't even bother asking because if I asked, he would have just said no, but we already knew that, right? So basically, I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm just chilling, right? So I'm just like trying to figure things out. My phone is like about to fucking die type shit. Or no, my phone was charged already from the fucking hospice place. And I'm like ready to buy a fucking pack of cigarettes and shit like that. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, he's like, we need to go buy a pack of cigarettes. Look, honesty. He's like, oh, we need to buy the pack of cigarettes type shit. I'm like, are you sure about that? We could be able to get an Uber, right? Look at this. Look, fear. And he just didn't want to get a taxi. He didn't want to, this is the energy he was in. He didn't want to spend his money on something that wasn't cigarettes. And I was like, let's save the money to be able to spend it on a taxi, right? But the taxi shit wasn't working. So I wanted to, he was in this energy, right? And I was in this energy. And basically I told one of the guys was like, hey, I'm about to get an Uber to so-and-so place. I'm like, oh, do you know if their share ride works? This nigga decides to go, oh, but how would that even work? Do you think that even works for them? And I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not even, like, do you even have any game, nigga? Like, do you know what I'm saying? He was all being indecisive and shit, trying to fuck over. And then obviously he brought that energy in. And so the guy is like, oh, no, I don't think that. Obviously he starts, like, they start having a conversation with each other. And now we're fucking lost for sure. And I'm like, fuck, like, oh, I can't fucking deal with these niggas. I can't. They have zero riz whatsoever. I can't deal with it. I can't. And that's the verdict. All these men have no riz. Just no riz whatsoever. Okay? That's the fucking verdict. It's about charisma and they have none. It's the gift of gab and they have none. It literally looks like, and I say none with an O, all right? And it literally looks like the Lord took his shit away from these motherfuckers and said, fuck you and what the fuck you thought you were gonna do in this fucking planet. Fuck you and what the fuck you thought you were gonna do in this world. Fuck you and what you thought you were gonna do in this reality. Empathy, because of how you treated my sister. You see? They tried to make it seem like I was Lucifer. And not only did they try to make it seem like I was Lucifer, but they also tried to make me out to be Shaitan. And I'm like, the nigga who made me do this? Nah. Y'all fucked up. I'm done with y'all. I'm fucking done with y'all. The nigga who made me paint my inner child to protect myself, bruh? Nah. Y'all got me fucked up. I got this freedom. This is within me. You know what the dom in freedom is? Okay, it's dominion. Okay, Dominique, nika sonne tout simplement. Votre chantant. Your motherfucker. Judgment. Anyways. So basically, surrender loneliness. That was the job. That was the fucking job. So I decided to so I'm like, I can't do this, man. I'm like, I think that I actually made a mistake. I think I actually made a mistake somehow, somewhere in between this entire journey, in between me going to find the blue monkey, right? And finding my way into this gas station to get these cigarettes, right? I must have fucked up, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna call my mom. I'm just gonna call my mommy. I'm just gonna call my mommy because I can't do this anymore. I'm stranded. And so I was like, surrender loneliness. So I call my mom and I'm like, hey ma, I'm lost. And she's like, how'd you do that? She's like, I've been lost before, okay? I have been, I was lost in Russia once before, and this is how I know I survived through the maze of life and death every time. Because last time I was lost in Russia, I straight was lost in the same complex area for like 3 hours, dude. When I get karma, it's the fucking worst, okay? And so basically, I literally just was like, I call my mom and I'm like, okay, well, it's bad for me, and people just don't understand why it's bad for me, but it's bad for me. But I basically like, what was I doing again? So I call her and I'm like, I need to go, like, I need to find my way back home. I don't even tell her, what's really going on, what's up, because I don't want to, stress her out. I don't want her to go all crazy on me and shit. You know what I mean? So, so like, she gets me an Uber, right? This nigga's sitting there. He's like, oh, she got you an Uber? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what kind of Uber it is? And I'm like, Mercedes Benz. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, nigga, like, you guys got me so fucked up. Like, I don't know where you guys thought that, like, I don't know where you guys, like, thought that you could just make it seem like I was, like, an awful fucking person for, like, literally surviving this actual, like, satanic bullshit. Like, my mom had this shit in her. I had this, like, we all, like, that's what happens every 1,000 years or so. Like, it's a century for a reason. Every century comes a period. Every century comes a period. Every period is 100 years. And then once those 100 years pass by, whoever completes that cycle is going to have that new inheritance energy. I'm on my period. I'm the one that's doing the shit. I'm the one that had to defeat the fucking I had to do some dimension travel shit to be able to, like, defeat the red serpent, utilizing, I was like, oh, it's a wavering, like, I had to travel through worlds and universes without drugs to be able to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then, like, I remember, like, that time where I slapped my mom, where she went to jail. Who the fuck do you think I was slapping out of her? People really think that I'm, like, not who I say I like. I don't know what the fuck. Anyways, so I basically oh my goodness. See, yeah, they're fucking grief, dude. They're in grief because I am balanced in my perseverance energy. Literally, I'm in peace. So I literally so when we entered the fucking car, right? We entered the Mercedes Benz. There's like an older guy, an older gentleman in the car. He's driving his like sexy ass Benz, by the way, sexy. And I say sexy because I don't usually care that it's a Benz, but the inside was red, and I was like, oh, it's my day. It's my day. It's me. It's all me. It's all me. So I was just like chilling in the car, and I'm like, you have a beautiful car, man. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm getting married soon. Okay. And I'm like, what? You are? And he's like, yeah, that's why I got the fucking car. And I'm like, oh my God, congratulations. And he's like, yeah, after 30 years, we finally decided to get married. I'm like, oh my God, 30 years. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much hope in my heart, bro. That's so much hope in my fucking heart. He's like, yeah, we're gonna have our wedding in June. I'm like, oh, yes, sir. I'm like, yes, sir. Get that bag. You know what I mean? So he's like talking about how he does Uber, da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, that's super cool. And he's like, oh, but he was in the military, he was in the Marines, and he's on pension, and he's like 50. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Like, what? I'm like, this is so exciting. I'm literally so excited for this guy's wedding. Like, I am so happy right now. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, the hope. Oh, man, it was the hope for me. But then the guy in the car was just like, oh, right. He was like trying to make conversation. So he was trying to like do banter, right? He was trying to go ahead and do banter with me back and forth, right? And he was like, yeah, when is our wedding? And I'm like, typical African. Anyways, let's continue. Freedom. I basically was like, I was like, I'm not dealing with you, bro. Death, I'm telling you, like, I'm not dealing with you. Freedom, I'm telling you, like, these people really think that this is something new, and there's quite literally nothing new about it. So I was like, chilling, and he was like, oh, like, we're like, well, how about our wedding's gonna be in the Bahamas? And I'm like, in the Bahamas, why not Hawaii, right? So I'm like, we're talking, and I'm not being fake about the shit. I was actually genuinely being in that energy. Like, that was my genuine energy, obviously, right? Honesty, see, obviously, that was my genuine energy. Is just like, the scenario is ironic. It's funny. It's funny. You can laugh. Am I making people worried? Don't be. It's okay. It's just, it was really funny. It really was funny, okay? I'm getting like hella downloads, okay? Like, now I'm getting really, really bad downloads. I mean, not really bad. I mean, really good downloads. It was just like really sharp. So I basically, so like, he drives us over to the house, right, to the apartment. I invite him over in. I don't have much food or water or anything like that, so I'm like, I'm on my last jug of water. I had like a thing of water. I'm on like just a little bit of water left, you know what I mean? So I like give him like the last of my shit. Like, I literally just give him the last of my stuff. He talks about how he's a chef and everything, and I'm like, my uncle is a chef, you know what I mean? Like, my uncle's a chef, and his energy more so reminded me of my uncle. Like, yeah, and it was like, it was giving that vibe. Like, it was like like I was getting my inheritance. I was getting my Christian inheritance, because that's the truth. Yeah, I was just getting my Christian inheritance because my uncle is Christian. And so, yeah, balance. You have relationships. My uncle's Christian, but my family is Jew, right? And so that's the thing. And my father, he was doing like this both sides of the situation, because he's a Virgo. So now that I know he's a Virgo, it makes sense that he would do multiple things like that. So he was more so like a Muslim Jew and stuff like that. Yeah, denial. Like, he really, yeah, I don't know, man. I think they really, my dad or something. Yeah, blame. What? Regret. Okay, so the thing is that my father told me not to call him dad. My father did. But the man who did that, who abandoned me and lied to me, experimented on me, tried to do all that tragedy on me, that was not my dad. I mean, not my father. That was not my father. That was my dad, okay? And that's what's going on right now. The snake is eating its own tail, like blame and regret. That's like eating each other up right now. Right, yeah, abundance. I'm saying like empathy out here. And so basically, the guy comes over to the apartment, right? And he just starts acting like real unruly, like acting real ungrateful. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm only gonna let you into the house, into my apartment, because I want you to be able to take a shower. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to be able to, relax. I want you to be able to have a nap, have some sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to use my iPad to be able to call who you need to call, find out what you need to know, do what you need to do. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself ready for what's gonna happen next, everything that you're doing and shit like that. And he just didn't want to take that shit serious. He just thought that he was just gonna come in and settle. I don't know what the fuck happened to him, where he thought he was just gonna like live his best life in my apartment, even though I told him I was moving soon and everything. He was trying to be all like, yeah, if it's a 2-bedroom apartment, you can come, I can like, and I'm like, well, if it's a 2-bedroom apartment, you're gonna have to still come in and pay for it, right? Guilt and reverse, service, like you're still gonna have to pay for it, like, and if you don't even have the money to do so. And he's like talking about some. And the other guy, the blue monkey guy, he was like all fucking excited. Oh, I'm about to get 100,000. Like, I'm about to make so much fucking money. Yeah, that's what he was talking about, growth and everything. I'm about to make some. And the thing was that he thought I was just gonna like forgive him for that shit. No, he tried to sell me out. Because he was in fear. See, that guy tried to sell me out because he was in fear. Right? And I was gonna give him his original title. And he fumbled the bag. Balance. Anyways. And he fumbled the fucking bag. Trust. Grief. I'm trying to say, see? That's what he wanted. He trusted that bringing grief onto me or others was gonna benefit him, whether it was in his imagination or in real life. I don't know. It was a failure. I'm telling you, they did spell work and black magic on me. All them groups of people, all of them were doing fucking blood. All of them were fucking Satanists. And I told them I don't fuck with that. I told them. I warned them. I even did light language. I even healed a lot of them. See, they're so worried. Look. No, I'm going to turn this in reverse. So I'm not worried. Because I really can't have that card be coming out so much. But basically, he decides to like the guy with the red shirt and everything. He's like chilling, and he's like, we're smoking and everything. He's like, you don't have any weed. He just starts being fucking rude. Like, he starts asking, like, demanding shit from me. Like, you don't want any weed. Like, I don't want any of this. Like, So I'm like, no, I don't. I'm slowly getting angry and angrier. And I'm like, I'm going to go take a shower, right? So I go take a shower. And he's like, can I have a towel? I'm like, I don't have a fucking towel. I'm like, aren't you fucking homeless, bro? And he decides not to take a shower because there was no towel. So I'm like, okay, like, if you don't want to take a shower in the good-ass bathroom, because he walked in the bathroom and he's like, wow, your bathroom is really nice. It's really nice. I'm like, yeah, thank you. It's a very good bathroom. I love my bathroom. I take care of it. And so he was like, in fact, my ex helped me take care of it as well. My ex was very kind to me. And I still do love my ex. And that's why I didn't want to go over to him. This is why I didn't want to go over to him. See? Discipline in this shit, right? Discipline in this shit. And I'm saying, like, so he didn't want to take a shower because there was no towel. So I'm like, but how? I don't know when the next time you're going to be able to take a shower is going to be at. So if you, and the thing is that I guess what he used to say, he didn't ask for a towel, by the way, like, oh, please, could I have a towel? No, he was like, could you give me a towel? Type shit. Could you give me a towel? Hey, could you bring me this? Hey, could you do that? Like, I'm like, So you're telling me you've been around all these rich people and that's why you speak to me like this? Nigga, no. So I'm already saying, like, I'm like, I'm not joking around with him. He's like saying like, he's trying to be all like, I am learning a lot from you. Like, I am learning a lot from you. And I want us to learn together because in reality, I know what you're trying to do. And now it's like you're trying to. And I was like, bro, I'm not asking you to learn from me. I'm asking you to be nice right now because you're in my apartment and you need to stop stomping on the motherfucking floors because I got neighbors. I was literally like, you need to stop stomping on the motherfucking floors because I got neighbors. I can't give you a towel because I can't give you a towel, period. And then the nigga decides to start doing push-ups on my balcony. And I'm like, I fucking open the door and I'm like, are you daft? Are you stupid? And he looks at me like scared. And I'm like, who's asking you to do fucking push-ups in my fucking balcony in the front view of all my fucking neighbors? You fucking psycho. Like, what the fuck? Like, in reality, what the fuck? And so he's like, oh, I'm sorry. So he comes in, pathetic, pussy-ass looking nigga. And I'm like, bruh, I cannot right now. I cannot with this nigga right now because I cannot stand it. And so he starts looking at me up, down, like, trying to rebuttal me and trying to like do some shit with me. And I'm telling him about like refinery and like fine dining. And he's like telling me like, oh, that's why it's called fine dining because it's being refined and everything is super meticulous. And I'm like, yeah, duh. And he's like, I worked with Wolfgang Puck. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm the bitch who's going to basically give Gordon Ramsay a meal to try out. I'm that bitch. I'm that girl. Okay, I'm that girl. I'm gonna be that girl. That's me. I wanna be able to be like, here you go, Gordon Ramsay, because I know I tweeted at you. You know what I mean? I know I tweeted at you and you see my tweet, so I just need you to try out my food. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm like cooking my shit, right? I'm like mixing everything. I'm cooking everything. I'm mixing everything, cooking everything, making sure everything's all right. He's like, are you sure you don't want this like thing? So he crushes his fucking crack, whatever the fuck it was. And he starts doing it on my fucking counter. He asked me if he could do it on my counter. And I'm just like, clearly not trying to have him do it on my counter. And I'm just like, honestly, like, no, not really, but okay, like I don't know what the fuck to do about that situation. Like, I'm not trying to have him crack out at me, you know what I mean? So he's like trying to like act, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck it was. And then like he just starts trying to like do some shit. Like, I don't know, he's just trying to like, anyway, I give him my fucking like thing and I'm like, here's my beanbag chair. You can sleep on it. It's very comfortable. He knows it was comfortable. My beanbag chair is very, very fucking comfortable. I love my beanbag chair. I slept on it the first night I came here. It was one of the most comfortable beanbag chairs I've ever slept on. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I came out of jail too, so I know how it feels like to come out of jail and sleep on this amazing ass beanbag chair. So I give him my iPad to be able to study. He's just pissing me off, right? I already told him that I was about to kick him out. Like, I warned him twice already that I was gonna kick him out. He didn't want to listen to me, but he thought I was joking. He kept on going like this. I'm not even fucking kidding. That shit was weird as fuck. So I was just like, can you stop doing that? Because like, I don't know why you're nodding and doing that with your face. But it's not okay. Like, I'm gonna need you to have to be studious. Like, you're gonna have to learn how to be disciplined. Like, health is important to me. You know what I mean? Like, and this was something that he was just going through, like, so much adversity, trying to bring it to my life. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, patience, right? Patience is a virtue, and that's a fact. And virtues are all God. See, that's what I'm trying to say. But pride in reverse. Patience is a virtue, and virtues are angels too. Principles are angels. Dominions are angels, which is why I said freedom, dominion, and I am a dominion as well because I am an earth angel. I'm the initiating angel. I just have to see blame. See, they're trying to make it seem like I am. What? What's going on here? Oh, okay. So somebody so that guy was trying to blame. I don't know who the fuck's trying to blame loneliness for what? The snake is truly eating its own tail. I can't make this shit up. Like, I can't make this shit up. Like, I'm happy and I'm balanced and I'm successful. I'm telling you. So basically, I'm like, I give him like the food and everything. We eat and we smoke, we chill. He goes to sleep on my beanbag chair. I go to sleep in my room. I lock the door. He doesn't use the shower. He doesn't do anything. And then in the morning I basically the iPad, right? He starts playing the music on the iPad like Kodak Black or some shit, like mad fucking loud, right? I had to come out the fucking room and be like, could you turn that down for me? And then like I had to lay down in the bed again because I'm trying to sleep, you know what I mean? I'm tired as fuck. I'm trying to sleep. And he starts playing fucking music again, and it's too loud still. He just turned that shit up as if like I wouldn't notice. So I was like, could you turn that down? And I had to scream from my room, and he didn't. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker thinks that I'm playing. So I'm like, dude, if I have to come out there, right? And I just said it like that. If I have to come out there, bruh, right? And then he did it anyways. And I'm like, okay. So I came out there and he was like, no, wait. And I switched off the fucking iPad and I put it away. And he was like, wait, what about? And I'm like, what is it? And I walked into my room and I left. I literally went to bed. I'm not going to be dealing. He wanted to act like a child in the middle of an adult situation. And now he's homeless. Judgment. I'm telling you, it's not about like, see, humor. I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. So I basically, they're trying to blame. What the fuck? That's so stupid. Look, I can't. Blaming envy, I'm done. I'm saying regret, and then that's the snake eating its own tail again. I'm saying. So basically, I was just like, I went into the room and he was supposed to use the iPad to call someone or look up information about where he was, you know what I mean? Do some fucking work or activity or go to sleep, you know? He wasn't really sleeping much at that point, you know what I mean? He would go back and forth and in the morning later on or so, what happened? Oh, right. I was already so pissed, right? I already told him to like leave multiple times. Like I was warning him like 11:11 or 1:11:11. Literally, I was telling him like he needs to go because I can't be doing this anymore. His energy is completely fucking my vibe up. Like it was really ruining things for me emotionally and energetically and astrally for me. So like I was just like not feeling it at all. And basically I go into the fridge and I start making like food and stuff like that, and I'm just already annoyed, and there was just stuff going on, and it wasn't really like morning. It was like, it was like 5 a.m. or so. It was like around 5 a.m. or so. Was it 5 or 6 a.m. or so? Let me think. So this is when shit went down, right? Yeah, this is when shit went down. I basically, I was about to prepare breakfast or something. And there was like, I remember, no, it was like the night before we had one egg left, right? There was one egg left. And when I gave him like half of my egg, right? I cut the egg in half and I gave him half of my egg. And I took the one half for myself. I only had one egg. I didn't even know I had one. I'm pretty sure I had a whole bundle of eggs and I just suddenly only had one egg left. So, Mary Magdalene vibes. So anyways, I'm like, Princess of Zaria vibes, let's go, Princess Amina vibes, let's go, it's me, baby, it's me. So basically, I give him the fucking food and stuff, and I'm like, oh right, he decides to make me a steak, right? He's like, I'm gonna make a steak. You like it medium rare? You like your steak medium rare? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I don't fucking mind. You know what I mean? And then he fucking makes it raw. He makes it fucking raw, and I'm like, I eat a little bit of it. I'm like, it's not cooked all the way through, and the fat is still white, and the inside is not. And he like left, and he gave me all the raw areas, and he took all the well cooked stuff for himself. And I just looked at him, and I'm like, okay. So I ate the raw stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not completely done, right? Because these bitches forget who the fuck I am. So then I basically, because I do eat, like, listen, if you're gonna talk vegan, if you're gonna talk about veganism, then maybe don't eat children, you know? Like, and that's really the whole conundrum with veganism, is because like at some point it gets to the point where you'll be so afraid, because it's out of fear. It's out of fear that you're not allowing yourself to eat. That's really what it is. It's out of fear that you're not allowing yourself to eat. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, see, acceptance of the, see, people are trying to accept the doubts, and it's not possible. It's just not possible, because I accept peace, see, and now there's adversity because people are in denial, see, because then I'm disciplined. My nigga, like, what? So anyways, because the thing with the veganism is that, like, if you're so afraid of eating everything, right? Why did the Vega galaxy and the vegans come in first, right? They came in right near, not first, but they came in similarly to the Pleiadians, like as light bodies, okay? They didn't eat the same way as others, because we're talking about the dinosaurs, right? We're talking about the dinosaurs who came in, and they were eating just leaves and vegetation and stuff like that, and then there were the carnivores that were here, right? And they just ate they ate raw meat and everything like that. And that's also where that dragon energy and all that stuff came from, is because of the pterodactyls and shit like that, right? And that's what I'm talking about, is like most of it has to do with like that dragon energy, literally a dragon age. And then the thing about dragons is that that's basically who guides with the birth and the initiation and stuff like that. That's like one of my main guides, is the red dragon. And oftentimes people really truly believe that the red dragon is like, you know, Satan. Yeah, failure. See, they really think that that's and that's not it. That's not the same thing. Because that would be a wyvern. That would be the serpent. The wyvern would be the serpent. Yeah, see, patience, the wyvern or the wyvern or something like that would be the serpent. Ooh, that's similar, really close to Jane, really close to Jane. Really close to Jane. Okay, this is talking about like the energy of like the white woman. Okay, we know what we're talking about here. The white woman, that white woman, right? That white woman. It's always that one white woman. It's never anyone else. It's always that one white woman. I'm telling you, there's just something weird about it. Yeah, peace. It's like they don't understand. I don't care. So basically, the fucking so he what happened again? So he's like sitting down, he's like trying to like tell me like, oh, should he go get some cigarettes? And I'm like, dude, as soon as you leave this house, you're not coming back. Like, as soon as you're leaving this apartment, you're not coming back. I don't know what you thought like this was. Like, I'm not trying to hold you here. I already told you that you can only stay here for one night. And I guess he just thought that, I don't know. So then so he starts like, I'm like, okay, here, let me read cards for you to like truly understand why this is happening, what's going on right now type shit. He's like, yeah, I'm down, da, 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 da. So I'm like halfway in between like making breakfast and reading him the cards, because he's just trying to like, you know, play with my time like that. So I'm like making coffee and stuff like that. So he tries to like, he was trying to like do too much. And I can tell when people try to do too much, because they be trying to like wash all my fucking dishes, clean my house for me, do everything for me. Like they want to like pay me in advance for nothing. And I'm like, no, bitch, like you can't do that. You came here to do something that you wanted to do. You wanted to take a rest, take a shower, sleep, and leave, right? That's what you're gonna do. I don't need you to start working in my house. I don't need you to start doing all this shit in my house for. Same thing, I went to Monkey and I wasn't planning on fucking washing his dishes. I wasn't planning on doing all that shit for him. I was just trying to get a fork to eat with because I was a guest in his house and I'm not gonna act like I'm there to clean. But this nigga thought it was gonna, he was so confused. He was so confused. He was so confused at like, yeah, all these niggas were so confused because I am literally who I say I am. And they can't just come in to my life and try to fucking, yeah, make me regret some shit. Literally. They're trying to act like I didn't, yeah, they're trying to literally, I don't get it. The snake always eats its own tail. At the end of the day, look, that's why it's lonely. See? And that's how loneliness failed. Forgiveness. We're moving on. Patience. Amen. So basically, what's his face? So he's like trying to like organize everything for me. He's like trying to wash the pot, my coffee like cooker. I have an Arabic coffee cooker. Was it Greek? I don't remember. It's like one of them that I don't remember, bruh. I don't remember if it's Arabic. I don't remember if it's Greek. I don't remember. I don't think it's Arabic, by the way, because the Persian ones that I know are far, far, far fancier. But it's not a French press, okay? It's just like it's one of those that it's complicated. It literally is complicated. So it's like he grabs it and he's trying to like wash it and he like moves it from the area I put it in. And this is how, Kristen, I knew you had no idea what the fuck Saturn is. Like, because you thought that you could just like, I don't know what the fuck you thought Saturn was, because you can't play with Saturn at all. So basically, he moves my fucking kettle pot thing from the area it's supposed to be at, right? He tries to wipe away my coffee stain that's here, that's symbolistic for a Japanese thing that I won't talk about because you need to do your own fucking research, honestly. And I honestly can't remember the name right now, and I wrote it down so everyone can just shut the fuck up and fuck off. And basically, he was trying to wipe my stain away. He was trying to like do all this extra shit, and I'm like, bitch, nobody's asking, like no one is actively asking you to do these things because you don't understand the point of why I left. Like it's like people literally thinking that I'm like incapable. Like, okay, so when I was with my ex, I literally had to say to him like, oh, I feel like I'm incapable of like taking care of myself right now, and this nigga laughed and said, I know, like type shit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you made me say that, like like, you know what I mean? But that's why I love him so much, because he's gonna make me pull out some shit from myself that I didn't know was even there before I even realized that it was there. And that's why I loved him so much, and I love him still to this day, and I can't stop talking about him. Anyways, this guy, like, he's like trying to do all this fucking fuckery, right? And he's like trying to wipe my shit, and he's like he doesn't even know how to take care of the stuff that I have. Like I said, it's like someone that doesn't know how to do something trying to do it for me and fucking it up just for me to have to do twice as much as the work just to fix it and not give it back, because I'm not going to give it to the same person who broke it. I'm going to have to give something new to them, because that's the only way for them not to fucking break it. That's the only way. So I basically like, and then this thing that has been broken now becomes my relic, and now I have to take care of it. And obviously it's going to become more powerful because I have now put in twice, if not 3 or 4 or 5 times the effort into it as any other person would have to do if they had to fix some shit, right? So now I have to give God all the credit, but then also I have to deal with people who feel as if they are getting the credit when they are not God. Ye are God, not they or them. Okay? So, I'm like, don't touch this. Like, don't touch that. Don't touch this. Stop touching this. Leave this alone type shit. So I'm pulling out the cars, right? And I'm making my coffee. I'm cooking. And I turn around and I'm reading the cards. And I peep that this nigga made a deal with the devil. So I'm extra pissed, right? I'm mad as fuck because this nigga thought he could play me. So I'm like, oh, you thought, bitch. So I'm like trying to cook and shit, right? And I'm like, I'm not finna deal with this nigga who thinks he dealt with the devil. I turn around and this nigga is trying to read my books, bruh. So I come over and give him a good fucking couple smacks in the back of his head. And I'm like, who asked you to touch it? Because, listen, I'm African and he too is African. And where he grew up was with Africans. And he's that, and that's why. And that's why. And that's why, because I don't care where we are. I don't care where we are. When you misbehave like that, to that extent, I am going to give you a good smacking. All right? So then that's what happened. I had to like literally treat him like an actual child, because you do not spare the rod of the child. Or if you're talking in terms of reality, spare the rod of the child. But that also means you know what I mean? Like spare his rod. You know what I mean? Spare his rod, but don't spare your rod type shit off the child. I don't know how to explain it, bro. It's complicated. If you know, you know. But basically, it's okay for you to discipline your child. It's not okay for you to use your child's penis against him. Basically, that's dumb. That's pedophilia too, and that's basically what happened to Jesus Christ. And Jesus is an actual real person who actually did pass on, by the way. So just saying, he did reincarnate too. Just saying. See, now it's not even. Oh, it's dead. Oh, okay. So basically, is it, or did I switch it off? Oh, okay, I switched off. Bruh. I think it's done. So I'm like, I'm done with having this like conversation, doing this thing and everything with you. And I'm like, bro, you have to go. Like, I can't deal with you anymore. Like, you're blatantly disrespecting my space. You don't want to be able to just genuinely listen to what I'm talking about. You want to be able to touch everything. He's like, but I'm learning. He's like acting all creepy and shit. He decides to go on his knees and beg. And I'm like, that's about the worst decision you could have made. Because you don't understand that that's exactly what all these pedophiles and rapists and all these people have done to me, right? They will always get on their knees and beg me for forgiveness because they realize that I have been blameless and innocent the entire time, right? And because they wanted me to feel guilty to begin with, and I never gave them that pity nor sympathy, and they thought that it was then okay to then try and force it out of me via slave tactics. And I was like, oh, you got me hella fucked up. And so I'm like, you can, I was like, in fact, I'm gonna go smoke now, but by the time I come back into this apartment, you better be gone. So I went outside to smoke and he left. And people will say like, oh, like luckily he didn't steal anything, or oh, thank God he was not bad of a guy. And then on the other side, people are going to say, what if he was a good person and you just kicked him out? And what if he was actually there to help you? What if he had a purpose and you just kicked him out? And so now we're here. And the fact of the matter is, fuck you and no. So then I basically had to deal with that whole circumstance and situation. And this is not my first time having to deal with that kind of circumstance and situation. I had to be almost on my knees before to beg for housing. But I didn't go on my knees for housing. I never went on my knees for housing. But he tried it because he was on drugs. Okay? And that's what I was saying, is like, I don't fuck with that. Like, even when I was on, like, you know, when I would do like ketamine or DMT, or when I used to like smoke a lot of weed and stuff like that, when I used to do shrooms and acid and Molly and stuff like that, I never behaved like that. In fact, I was uncovering deep-rooted shamanic secrets while I was doing drugs. To me, it was more than just an experiment, because my parents had experimented on me already when I was a child, because both of them didn't really know what the medicine was going to do. They just studied it from the schools that they studied it from. They didn't realize how much of a deeper connection spiritually it was going to cause for them. They didn't realize that, because if they knew, they probably, see, my mom knew what was in the vaccine. She told me not to get it, and I didn't get it. Freedom. I'm trying to tell you. So why would I ever hate my mom for literally protecting me from the mark of the beast? Why would I hate my dad from literally beating the shit out of me so that to make sure that I would never have to go through the worst kind of karma in the world due to the Saturn energy, because he is a high priest and he knew exactly what was going to happen to me, and he knew that somehow, some way, he needed me to be so mentally, physically, psychologically, and emotionally disciplined to be able to handle the kind of work that I'm going to be doing, because he already knew. But obviously people are not going to be able to handle that kind of information because they don't have that kind of discipline. They just don't. My father, my heavenly father, my heavenly mother both utilized my parents to be able to train and ascend and allow me to grow and just not just train, because I said train me. But that's what I mean. It's like, it's literally like a training to be able to make sure that I got into the position that I would get into so that I would be able to carry on the family legacy, because I'm literally the only child. That's the thing, perseverance. I am literally, so that's what I'm saying. Peace. And I'm wondering. And so when I talk about having a brother and saying that Jesus Christ is my brother, I don't know why people get so fucking confused for. Freedom, freedom. They want to blame me for freedom. What? I don't get it. I don't get it. So basically, I'm like, I'm literally like, not dealing with circumstance, not dealing with situation. He leaves. I come back. There are no more cigarettes, right? All the cigarettes are done. I don't have any more cigarettes. I don't have any more smokes. I'm like all out of smoke, so I need to get more. I probably could get more. I probably have change to get more, but that's basically what it is. It's like, he left the hospice food here. It was kind of trash. I was like, okay, like, don't you want your shit? I guess he just left it here because he thought that, I don't know, maybe they put something in the food. No, I'm just happy. I'm just grateful for it. I'm just grateful for it. I'm just grateful for the food, even though it was a little expired and stuff. Like, I wasn't just gonna throw it away. I had to eat it because I don't just throw food away when it's good. I only throw food away if it's like not anymore. Like, I can't have it. I can't eat it. Literally. So that's literally, maybe that's what's weighing on me right now. That's what I'm going through right now. Because I'm a very food, and when it comes to food and hunger, okay, I have a lot of childhood trauma when it comes to food and hunger. Because like, I used to just have food, I used to have food shoved in my throat. I remember one time I had catfish shoved down my throat, like, really badly. And then the other, like, constantly. And then another time with food is like, I was constantly throwing up. I was always having issues with food. Like, either I would digest it too quick or I would just not be digesting. No, I would always just be digesting everything so fucking quick that I would literally shit it all out. I know that's like a little TMI, but I was a kid, right? And my mom would actually have to call me like a duck. Like, she was like, "Dan, you're like a duck. Like, you're just fucking like shitting all the like you just ate. You go to the bathroom, and it's like you didn't know what food. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's basically, like I'm saying, I had to learn how to stay hungry. I had to learn how to stay hungry because all the food would just digest so fucking quickly, but there were no nutrients. Yeah, there were no nutrients, and I just never really understood. And it was because it wasn't the food that I had to make myself. I had to be able to make it myself. I had to grow my own food. I have to grow my own food. I need my own farm. I need my own food services. Like, that's the only way that I can make sure that the food that I'm eating is good, is if I'm actually cultivating it myself. And so that's been my goal from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it's always been. So, like, that's basically the situation that happened recently with me. And that, like, happened 2 days ago. And I've been just trying to process all of that. But I'm glad I was able to take these cards out to show y'all that this is, like, a true story. It's real. Like, I'm telling y'all, This shit is wild. It's crazy. Yeah, he left and I don't know where he's at anymore. And I'm done. I've never seen that person again. Maybe I'll see him in another life or something. Maybe he'll come forth again. But it's beyond me sometimes how these people generating dynamic confidence. It's beyond me how people really believe to themselves that they can. I feel like God really just raised me to, like, oh my gosh, to say some crazy ass shit, apparently, Lord, meditating and reflecting. Like, I feel like that's really what it is with this ego coming through, with the come through over here, right? Yeah, look, shielding, protecting, and grounding. Like, seeking healing water, loving the self on all levels. I feel like, and I do have my twin, okay? Establishing emotional boundaries, okay? I know who my twin is, okay? And my twin is also not a fucking Libra. I need people to relax on that shit. But people feel as if my twin is a fucking Libra. No, my twin is not a fucking Libra. They be trying their fucking best to make it seem like they are protecting me from my twin by trying to kill me or my twin. Like, I don't understand. Look, breaking the chain of repeated cycles. I'm not fucking playing. They literally like to make it seem like, I'm like, isn't this, but me and my twin already know about this. Shielding, protect. This is why it's such a show for us. This is why it's such a show for us. Look, taking a vow. This is why it's such a show for us. Look, expressing artistic creativity, see? This is just God's work. To us, it's just like God working through what God is working through. God is just, like I said, art imitates life, right? That's what happened. That's what happened. So what happened was later on, right, I go on YouTube and Kristen is going off. She's going off about, like, trying to curse me, trying to kill me, and then she cursed and basically tried to kill herself. And then this other person who Kristen thought she was, Kristen is just on a whole nother level. And so there was another person who thought that they were just gonna call themselves a karmic and hide the fact that they were a demon, right? They were gonna do that. They were just gonna hide the fact, and then they pulled out the fucking incubus card, and I'm like, there he is. There's Nico. There's Lilith, Nico. And so Lilith and Nico are now like, yeah, releasing emotional weight, and now they just snake eats its own tail. Trusting in destiny, snake eats its own tail. And the thing about it is that there's already the water lily story. Okay, ignore my cat. The water lily story, the Adina's awakening story, and the Nico and the boy story, the trilogy that is all together has to do with that whole dynamic. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to put this bitch in her place because she's like doing way too much, trying to kill me. And you know what really really fancies my tickle, right? You know what really fancies my tickle is when they really think it's a good idea for them to like when they think it's a really good idea for them to laugh when they are like they think that somebody else is in trouble really badly, so they giggle a little bit, but then immediately realize that it's about them, so they have to like stop laughing, and it's really sad. It's really sad. So cleansing mind, body, and spirit. So literally invoking guides, gods, and guardians. Literally. So basically I had to like comment all that shit for all of these people, basically putting both of them like in their place, basically reminding them that they're both going to hell. And so are all those people who are not trying to repent right now, realizing empathy as revolution or evolution, revolution, evolution, revolution, evolution. And I was like, I don't know, like, that's it. I think it's game over. I'm pretty sure it's game over. So, basically, I am the cosmic. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because yesterday would have been 11/23. The year 11/23 got initiated yesterday, right? The year 11/23 got initiated yesterday, which makes me the red cosmic Skywalker. activating empathetic magic, learning from social conflict, examining self-identity. It is what it is. And I'm not a fucking Cancer. I'm a Chariot. I will never have Cancer. And I don't ever have Cancer. Okay? No crabs. No Cancer. None of that bullshit. Embracing sensuality as union. Okay? If we're going to talk about the crab, okay? A crab itself and the outer exoskeleton shell, okay? You're talking about crustacean, okay? You see how everybody been fucking up? Crustacean? Like the crust? Yeah. Look, creating personal space. So that's what's going on right now. Okay? Shielding, protecting, and grounding. This is all about, like I said, yeah, alchemizing confusion into clarity, right? That's what's going on right now. I had to do some work, loving the self on all levels. I had to do some work in my private time as well to be able to clear out these energies. Like I said, this was like about yesterday or 2 days ago, all right? So now these are the 3 tones that I'm in, okay? Cosmic, galactic, and solar. Those are my 3 main tones. Then I have crystal, electric, and then the final tone that I'm going to be working on is going to be the upcoming tones. It's going to be the upcoming tone. I don't remember. Maybe it just cancels. Maybe it stops it. Oh, okay. No, hold on. So we have cosmic, galactic. Okay, then we have crystal, electric, and then we have the last one, which is, what's his face? Solar? Yeah, solar! And that's me! The solar sky. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Okay, so that's the whole, I had to that's my 6, right? That's my 6, okay? And that's me transforming from the 5th element into my 6th element, which would be then that sensuality element, okay? That will be the sex element of our reality, okay? Yeah, the 6th element, which would be the overtone, okay? The overtone element. So I am overtone right now. Because when I was dating my ex, I was overtone, and then now that he's coming back up, right? It's back to me being fully overtone, and what that means. Overtone energy is my reality, okay? Ooh, I don't know. Let's finish and close out this reading. Let's bring it up with Egyptian ancestors, the Egyptian ancestors. Okay, so thought at the bottom of the deck, which is that Virgo energy. Taweret here. Okay, Genesis. All right, let's continue. Yeah, I feel like. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah, so Ma'at coming through. Yeah, I'm definitely, okay, y'all hear that? I'm definitely in my 12th house. I'm definitely in my Pisces energy. I'm staying right here. We not going nowhere. Okay, with Genesis coming out again. So this is about truth and fairness. This is a generation of truth and fairness, okay? Yeah, look at the resentment pulling through with the, look at this. Change with Kefri coming through. And exploration, okay? So there's something, I know I looked at it like that, but there's something about Sedna. So it looks like, yeah, hope. Okay. So that's where that is. Okay. Anoket. By the way, Anoket reminds me a lot of my mother. She reminds me a lot of my mother. Yeah, Anubis coming through here. Shu with order and peace. Okay, so this is literally what it is. Yeah, look! Definitely, Mary Magdalene energy. I fucking knew it. See? I knew I was giving Mary Magdalene energy because I was like painting, and this is about fertility and about like growth, and then with the cheetah print, right? Yeah, with the cheetah print, and then like with the weed and stuff, and this me, and I'm keep on trying to fucking smoke this, and I'm like, where's my weed? You know what I mean? And then Hathor coming here with the mothering energy, right? And like, like as soon as she said, as soon as by the way, Kristen said what'd you call it? Hathor, the cow energy. I was like, fuck you, bitch. First of all, this is Hathor. Do you see how small the fucking cow is compared to Hathor? Like, I don't understand where people always forget the balance of reality and the order of things. Literally, truth and fairness. Literally. And by the way, if you look at the picture, I already pointed at this in my on my Instagram. But basically, do you see how small that person is? Okay, that means that this cow is far bigger than this child or whatever. But look at how big. Yeah, and people forget about that. And they think it's ego. And I'm like, Anubis transformation. Yeah, Nefertum completeness. Yeah. No, that's talk on talk. That's talk on greatness. Okay? That's talk on greatness. Великолепность is what it's called. Великолепность. Kind of like bicycle, velocipede. Okay? It's talking about like protection. It's talking about Genesis. It's talking about wholeness. It's talking about velocity. Okay? Viscosity, velocity, superfluidity, quantum fluidity, flow, reality, eccentricism, which is mostly Aquarius energy, which is honestly Draco energy, is dragon energy, okay? Aquarius energy is like Pleiadian, dragon, like it's one of the strangest energies you will find. But if you don't master it, it will take over you really badly, okay? Like it happened to my mom. It'll happen to every single Aquarius until they learn their fucking lesson, okay? So skill is right here with Ta, okay? Ta and exploration, okay? Ta, all right. It's time to leave. Transformation. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching this. If you watched it all the way through, I know that was a really long-winded story, but I'm posting this because it was really hilarious to me, and I actually want to commemorate this day. So that I would be able to look back one day and be like, oh man, I was tripping, or nah, I wasn't tripping, or you know what I mean? Like, just being for real. Yeah. Y'all, peace. I'm really like, I can't even explain how fucking hilarious it's been, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye.